Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. My name is Catherine. I am the program coordinator here at Earth Lab, and we are so excited to have you all here learning more about the Earth Data Analytics Professional Graduate Certificate Program. A few things before we dive in. We will be recording this session, so if you need to leave at any point or if you'd like to watch the presentation a little bit later, I will be sending out the recording later this week so you can rewatch it. If you need closed captions, you should be able to enable them at the bottom of the Zoom window. And then we are using Menti, which is this really cool interactive presentation tool. And so we'd love for you to participate. If you didn't get to answer that first question, there will be more opportunities and we'll tell you how to do that. And lastly, we'll have about 15 minutes at the end here to answer any questions you may have. So definitely hang on to those questions as we go. So diving in, I would like to welcome Dr. Elsa Kohler, who is our education trainer and the instructor for our certificate courses. She's going to tell us a little bit about Earth Lab. So go ahead, Elsa.
All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks so much for coming to this. Earth Lab is a part of CU Boulder that is really founded around using open science in order to look at some of the grand challenges that we face in our environment. So we really focus on bringing together lots of different types of data, ranging from remote sensing data to social media data to experimental data and things coming from places like NEON. And bringing those together into projects that help to solve pressing problems that we have in the world. And we have a bunch of our work on our website as well. You can look if you're the academic paper type. We have some of our projects. We've done a lot of things that are related to wildfire and macro systems ecology, trying to look at ecological systems from the very, very micro scale to the very, very large scale and integrate all of that. One of the other big components of Earth Lab is that we have a full education team in addition to our science team, our science analytics team. And one of the things that we do is run this professional graduate certificate program. So we're so excited that you guys are interested in the program. And yeah, that's what I have to say about Earth Lab. And it can happy to answer any questions about it as well later on.
Great. Thank you, Elsa. So a bit more about Earth Lab and our education team, as Elsa mentioned. So Dr. Nathan Corder is our director. He's not here today, but he says hello. And you just heard from Elsa. We did just welcome a new addition to our team, Dr. Catherine Siegel. She will also be teaching the certificate courses, so you might see her in the fall. And then, like I said, my name is Catherine. I'm the program coordinator, so I help run the certificate program. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. And next, we're going to actually dive into content about the certificate program. So first, I'll just give a brief overview, and then Elsa will talk about the technical aspects of the course and its content, as well as the capstone project. And then I'll talk a bit about career opportunities that can arise from the certificate program, how to apply, the program costs, and then again, we'll talk about, or we'll go through any questions at the end of this. So getting started. The Earth Data Analytics Professional Graduate Program is a 3-course, 9-credit certificate. So there are 3 different courses, each is 3 credits, and you have to complete all 3 in order to earn the official certificate. They are only 1 semester at a time, so one class per semester, so you'll only be in 1 class at a time. They do build on each other, so we do require you to take the 3 courses sequentially. So if you were to start in the fall of this year, you would take the Earth Data Analytics Science Bootcamp course. Then in the spring, you would take Earth Analytics Python. And in the summer, you would take the Earth Analytics Applications or our capstone course. The certificate program can be completed entirely online, and you can complete it in 3 semesters, like I said, or 1 full academic year. If you would like, you can take time off in between classes. So for example, if you were to take the fall course and you wanted to wait a little bit, if life got really busy, you could take the spring class the following year. We just ask that you complete all 3 courses within 3 years so that you wouldn't have to reapply for the program again. So again, 1 full year, but you can take 3 years to complete all 3 courses. Nearly all of our students are either working in a part-time or a full-time capacity, or they're in another graduate program like a master's or a PhD, and they're taking our courses additionally. And we also have a lot of students who have families or other full-time responsibilities outside of the classroom. So we try to be as flexible as possible to accommodate you all and your different busy schedules. So getting back to Menti, we'd love to hear from everybody here. So if you could go to menti.com and use this code at the top if you haven't already, we'd love for you to answer this question. So how much experience do you have with data science and or earth science? So it could range from none, I'm a total newbie, to someone can code, awesome, we love that, to a ton, I'm a coding and science wizard. Anywhere in between is great. You can certainly answer or choose more than one of the answers. Awesome. So we have some science people, some coding people, class or 2, and 1 wizard in the group. That's awesome. Lots of people can code, great. None, I'm a total newbie. That's awesome too. No worries. Okay, well, so you can definitely answer this question if you haven't already, but I'm going to keep moving along here. So the good news is that however you answered that question, this certificate program can be for you. So if you're a recent graduate, if you are an experienced professional in the earth or environmental sciences, if you are looking to make a career change, if you're interested in learning more about programming and developing those skills specifically, or if you're a total beginner and you've never coded before, this certificate program is for you. We do have a lot of students who have never coded before, so it does kind of start from that level 0 place. However, we also have a lot of students who have done some coding before, and so sometimes we get asked if the certificate program would be too easy for those students. And the answer to that is no, because we find it unlikely that anyone would really be an expert in all of the tools that we teach and the different methodologies that we focus on. So your experience, if you have coded before, can definitely help you throughout the program, but we'd like to think of the program as a great way to really round out your skill set in order to better use these technical skills within the context of earth and environmental science. So regardless of whether you have coded before or you've never coded in your life, you can certainly learn things from our program. Okay. A lot of people also ask about time commitments. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that here. The fall bootcamp course has a required 90-minute session. That's once per week. And there's additional content for you to work through at your own pace. The 90-minute session is really just a time for a discussion with other classmates and to ask your TA any questions about the material. And then there's 3 to 5 hours of homework per week on top of that. The spring analytics course meets twice per week for 75 minutes each. And then there's an additional 3 to 5 hours of homework for that class as well. And then for the summer applications course, they meet for 2.5 hours each week. And then the rest of the time is kind of up to you. You'll really just be working on your capstone project with your teammates. And so you can really work whenever is best for you. All of the live class sessions will be recorded. So if you're unable to make some of the class sessions, or if you live in a time zone that makes it hard to attend these regularly, you can certainly watch them at your own time. For the bootcamp course, we do require you to attend that 90-minute session once per week, but there's 4 different time slots that you can choose from. So you can pick the one that works best with your schedule. And you can always work with Dr. Kohler here to come up with something that works best for you. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Elsa to talk about our courses and content.
Thanks so much, Catherine. So I'm going to go through first kind of 5 principles that we use when creating these courses and teaching these courses. And number 1 is that we focus on open, reproducible science. We think that science is often better when it's more accurate, useful, relevant, and shareable. And so we are going to focus on the technical skills that are necessary to access open data. Everybody creates a open online web portfolio of their work, which can be really valuable when looking for a job, but also can be a really useful skill in terms of sharing any open science that you're doing. We also talk a lot about FAIR and CARE principles for data. The FAIR data principles are all about open data, and the CARE principles are all about working with more sensitive data. For example, we have a lot of tribal partners here at Earth Lab. And so the CARE principles are really addressing an area called data sovereignty, in which folks don't always want their data to be open. And so we want our data to be as open as possible, but as closed as necessary. We focus on open science tools. So that's, in our case, the Python coding language. We use open interactive computing notebooks in order to run code. And we also use open systems for managing environments and packages and software downloads. And then finally, we emphasize effective science communication throughout the program in order to help you share your science. We can go to the next slide. One of the things that we're really, that's really part of our mission here at Earth Lab is harnessing the Earth and environmental data revolution. This might even be old. NASA is collecting more than 4 terabytes of Earth observation data per day, and it's only becoming greater. But at the same time, many scientists have little to no practical computer programming or big data skills. And there's a number of studies that we point to that institutions are not meeting that data analysis training needs. And so through this certificate program, we hope to create really the next generation of Earth scientists that are trained to analyze the incredible wealth of data that's coming from, whether that be field data or remote sensing data or model data that helps us to understand our planet. And this is a professional program, so we understand that the people are coming to us to try to advance in their career or change their career or be able to do more moving forward, and technology changes really fast. And so for that reason, we try to emphasize transferable computational skills. The Python programming language is right now the tool of choice, especially in industry, for open Earth data science. It is pretty much the only tool that is being used in the climate modeling and atmospheric sciences increasingly. But also the skills that you learn in Python can be transferred to other coding languages, including code design, debugging, reading and writing documentation, and finally AI-assisted coding. And that means that when the technology changes, not if, but when, you won't have to start over because you will know how to learn a new programming language or tool. And a big part of all of the really previous 3 points is being able to effectively collaborate with code. And so this is something that we often find is missing from folks who have been learning to code in science classes. That you don't necessarily learn how to write code that is easy to read and also to use a very important set of tools around version control that allows you to keep track of all of your changes that you've made and that your collaborators have made and merge those together into one working version. And so we emphasize really throughout the program writing code that is readable, maintainable, modular, and documented, as well as a number of skills related to the Git version control system and the GitHub platform, which are really at this point essential for almost any kind of career in whether that's scientific coding or software development or web development. And then the last one is that at EarthLab, we're interested in the nitty-gritty of the science, but we're also interested in making a difference. And that means that you need to be able to get your message out and frame your science in or your projects in a way that resonates with people, colleagues, managers, and journalists, academics too, but not just academics. And so we teach specific and actionable science messaging skills throughout the program and ramp up on that throughout the year. So we're curious, what are you most excited about related to professional development in Earth data analytics?
Yeah, so definitely jump back on Menti and feel free to type in anything related to the question. It could be project management skills, it could be something specific about everything else I was just talking about and what you could be learning through the courses. It could be working on your capstone project, which we'll talk more about here in a minute. But yeah, would love to see what you all are excited about. Awesome. So working with RS data.
Yeah.
And automation. I'll let you, Mike, DJ this one.
Yeah, science-informed politics, excellent. Yeah, we try with our discussion sections in the fall, we try to bring a lot of different perspectives on data science into there. So we're always excited to include stuff that you guys are interested in. Making a difference, coding for data analytics, version control, yes. Data visualization, big data processing and query. Yes, we have been incorporating some of the really cutting edge cloud data access tools into our program. And that's something that we're really proud of. And also in discussions with folks around Boulder in the Earth data sciences, something that is missing in a lot of the courses that are out there right now. And project management skills, collaboration across BERT. This one I don't know. I'm guessing maybe across disciplines or something like that. Improving marketability, yes. We should maybe show Catherine some examples of student portfolios from last year. I'll try to look for some of those while you're talking, because there's some really great ones that students put a lot of work into, and possibly new passion. I love it. Well,
let's see, I got the link right here for previous capstone projects, so I'll throw it in the chat.
Oh yeah. Yes, capstone projects as well. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thanks everyone for answering. This is awesome. So now I'll let Elsa continue telling us about the capstone project.
All right. So we're really all about putting your skills into action really from day one. A lot of students give us feedback that their new skills don't really click, or they don't understand what it is that they've learned until they start working on their own projects. And that's why we put aside a full 20 weeks of the program to working on an industry or academic project of your choice. We find projects with our partners here at Earth Lab that students can join, and also we're open to you reaching out to a company or a lab or a scientist that you would like to work with and finding your own project. And we're also open to you coming up with a project all on your own. And in that case, I would work with you as a mentor on that. So we've got lots of options, but basically how it works is we spend some time at the beginning of the second semester exploring your interests and doing some, I think they're pretty fun activities around coming up with new ideas. Then we work to find project partners that are working in a similar area. And finally, you complete the project starting about halfway through the second semester with our support and guidance. And student projects are really one of our main inspirations for developing new curriculum. So a lot of the things that we teach have been adapted from previous projects, which helps us to stay relevant. And also we think our students have amazing project ideas. This awesome remote sensing image is from a couple of our students, Avra and Kristen, from a few years ago. They were using satellite imagery, which you can see here, to look at some different flooding events in Vicksburg, Mississippi, in order to better understand the correlation between flood extent and discharge. Which is something we don't always have a really great idea about. And yes, that's the capstone project. And we're going to have the current students give final presentations this year on July 30th at 11 o'clock. This is our usual Earth Lab seminar time. So we encourage you to come join us for this. And also if you're interested in coming to our seminar at other times, that this is a great introduction to the seminar. And we bring in a lot of speakers doing awesome things with earth and environmental data science. And Catherine just put the link to register in the chat. And so far, it looks like the projects the students will be presenting on, we have kind of a larger group working on a GIS tool for looking at forest heterogeneity, which can be linked to a lot of different kinds of ecosystem services and resilience. And we have a student who's working on identifying landslides from remote sensing imagery. And we have a student who's working on combining social media data with other types of fire data in order to analyze the effectiveness of different emergency response measures. So we're super excited about them.
Yes, we would love for you all to join. So definitely register. You're more than welcome to attend this. So thanks, Elsa, for all of that information. Next, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the different types of career opportunities that we believe the certificate program can prepare you for. So as Elsa mentioned a little earlier on, there is a vast amount of earth and environmental data being produced, up to more than 4 terabytes per day from NASA alone. And so these data come from a variety of sources, such as remote sensing data, data from the field, data from the models, and group-based sensor networks. And so there's this growing gap between the current supply of professionals who have the skills to handle this type of data and the growing demand for people who can better understand Earth and environmental data through these types of skills. So that's why we developed the certificate program, to try and really get at that tension between this growing need of professionals and those that are available in the market. Additionally, data science jobs pay really well and often sit on the market longer than average positions. And so through this certificate program, we think that the skills you will learn can help you become a data scientist or analyst, a geospatial analyst or developer, a GIS technician, or a remote sensing scientist or analyst. These are the types of titles that our graduates usually apply for and fall into, and this is what we hope. These are the types of jobs we hope that you can find as well after taking the program. So if you're interested in applying, I'm going to quickly walk through the application process. It's pretty straightforward. If you were to go to earthlab.colorado.edu, you could find this page under the Engage tab. This is for our professional graduate certificate program. And then the Apply Here hyperlink at the bottom will take you to this portal. So this is CU Boulder's non-degree graduate certificate application. And so this is where you would start your application. You would want to select the fall 2024, spring 2025, and summer 2025 academic year if you'd like to start this coming fall. So you'd go ahead and hit start. And it will prompt you to create an account. It's where you'll hit start new application, open application, and this will say 2024, 2025. And that will finally get you to this portal. And we only require 3 things for our application. We would like you all to have a completed bachelor's degree. So we would like to see your unofficial transcripts from that. And then if you are currently in a master's or a PhD program, or you have completed one, we'd like to see your transcripts for that as well. But again, just a bachelor's degree is required to enroll in the certificate program. We'd also like to see your resume and a personal statement, which I'll talk more about here in a second. When you get to this program details tab in the application, just be sure that you select Earth Data Analytics Foundations and that the entry term is in fall 2024. There's a few different certificates in this portal, so just be sure that you select this one. And then lastly, our personal statement. We just would like you to answer this question. So why have you chosen this particular program and how does it align with your future career goals? And this is 400 words or less, so really quick, and you can answer that question however you would like. And finally, be sure to submit your application by August 9th. That is our deadline to begin the program this coming fall. And of course, you can email me or earth.lab@colorado.edu if you have any questions as you work on that application. Okay, and lastly, I'm just going to talk about the cost of the program. So here are the rates for in-state, out-of-state, and international students. We do follow CU Boulder's continuing education tuition rates. So that is the college within the university that we are housed under. Continuing education does only charge tuition on a class-by-class basis. And we find this to be really advantageous for our certificate students. Because like I said, we know that many of you are working in other positions or you might already be in school. And so if you're not sure if the program is right for you, but you'd like to try one of our courses, you can always apply and take the fall course, pay for the one course itself, and then you can decide if you'd like to continue with the spring course after that. And so we find that this provides a lot of flexibility for our students since they are working in other capacities. And that brings us to our questions. So if you have any questions at all, this is the time to ask them. You can, again, the same Menti link here. You can type your questions there, and we'll keep an eye on the chat as well. You can also thumbs up other questions. So if you see a question you want answered, feel free to do that. But yeah.
I see some in the chat already. Oh, there it is on Menti too. So besides GIS data, are other data sources examined in this program? Absolutely. Our very first project that we start off with is looking at temperature and precipitation data from the Global Historical Climatology Network. And so you look at that data over time. We also look at stream gauge data. We have a unit where we look at species distribution data that's primarily collected from the iNaturalist citizen science platform. So people taking photos of animals and plants and insects in their area. And we have a habitat modeling program, which is all kind of spatial data. So you could call it GIS data, but in particular, we do look at downscaled climate model data. So again, looking at anticipated temperature and humidity.
Great.
So,
And then that second question there, are the certificate costs on top of undergraduate tuition if you're already enrolled as an undergraduate student at CU? Yes, so you will have to pay tuition for the course in addition to the tuition for your other courses. I believe there is a fee for continuing education, but if you go to the continuing education CU Boulder website, you can find all the information for that. I hope that answers that question.
yeah, and we can also we can't award the certificate for the courses taken outside of continuing education, but it is an option. And in fact, we even have an undergraduate version of the fall course. That's so we don't have the certificate available. That's something that we're hoping to work with the new Catherine coming in the future, but right now we don't.
Yeah, and to clarify, so Kevin, if you have already completed your bachelor's degree at CU, then this will be an additional tuition and additional classes you will take. If you're an existing undergraduate or graduate student at CU, then that is what Elsa was just talking about. And so we would, you would pay for the tuition, and then we would work with you to award a version of the certificate. And you're welcome to email us with more specific questions about that because it gets a little confusing.
Yeah,
So reach out there.
getting deep into the CU bureaucracy.
Yes.
Looks like we have more on Menti. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay, degree in political science. Yeah, I mean, I think that earth and environmental data science is so essential, like increasingly in fields like political science and journalism. And so I'm really excited about having folks from different backgrounds come in. We really do start from ground zero, and ground zero is maybe not the best metaphor. From no experience is necessary. We will get you there. It is a project-based classes, so we do have you working on meaningful analysis from the very first day. But we have a lot of experience in bringing folks with a limited math and computer background through. We have right now we have some students in our summer internship program who study Indigenous law and are making their way through the program. And so yeah, it's definitely possible. And I think that the other thing I'll say about it is that we tend to get kind of two groups of students. We get a group of students who has maybe is even a professional software developer, but doesn't know much about earth science or social science or geography or anything in that area, and is kind of looking to apply their skills. And then we also get folks with this kind of domain knowledge that is really important, but with less of the coding background. And so one of the really amazing things about this program is getting to know people from different backgrounds and work together on projects across disciplines. So that's something we're really excited about facilitating.
Okay. Next question. So we got that one, I think. Let's see.
I don't know. I do know that we have had an active I guess I don't want to use the wrong vocabulary. We have had a service members who the military was paying for their program come to our courses, but I would be way out of my depth saying whether that was GI Bill or some other kind of professional development through the military. So yeah, I don't know, maybe is there someone we can ask about that, Catherine, or would that have to maybe go to
Yeah, I would suggest reaching out to continuing education via this email to ask that specific question. I'm not sure. I'll just leave it at that. That is a CU institutional question. So yes, definitely reach out to them. Okay, let's see. Are there any kind of job search resources, support, and advice? Also, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we do a couple of things on this front, and we're always looking to improve this aspect of the program. So one is that any of the instructors or discussion facilitators are more than happy to meet with students about about job searches, and resources and things like that. It's pretty common that I'll get a lot of questions, especially in the first semester around that. And so I'm certainly happy to talk through some of the options and make connections where there's some kind of overlapping interest with folks who are involved with Earth Lab. We also are very closely related to the Environmental Data Science Innovation and Inclusion Lab, which is an amazing networking opportunity. There's events kind of throughout the year that we encourage certificate students to apply for and come to and meet folks. And then the last thing I'll say about that is that,
Also, I think you cut out there, unless it's me.
I cut out. When did I cut out?
Can everyone else hear?
And can folks hear me?
You're back.
Okay.
You were talking about easel.
Right. Easel, yes. Yeah, so we encourage folks to get involved with that if you're interested, and easel also does occasionally hire people. So if there's a job application that's kind of appropriate to the level, I'll usually share that. I have a couple of resources that I share with students around kind of like mailing lists and things like that, but you can probably find a lot of that on the internet. And then the last thing I'll say about that is that those portfolios are
you cut out again, Elsa.
Again.
Can you guys hear her? You can? Is it me?
Okay, you can hear. Okay. All right.
Weird.
It's just Catherine.
It's just me.
Yeah, so the GitHub, which is our version control and collaboration platform that we use, between the personal web page and like also making a lot of contributions to GitHub, that is in our experience super valuable for looking for jobs in this field. I mean, we have hired folks, developers and scientists, and it is one of the first things that we look for. And I've spoken to other people that we're not alone in this. So so that portfolio is a really nice kind of resource, I think, to augment a resume, although that's not like specifically about like specific jobs. Yeah. We have had students also like apply for and get jobs in the field during the program. And so that's something that that is 100% possible, and we're happy to serve as a reference for anyone who's in the program and completing successfully.
Great. Thank you, Elsa. Sorry for the interruptions.
No worries.
Okay. Do you know of any scholarships that would be applicable to this program? Unfortunately, we are relatively new, so we don't have any scholarships available at this time. So I would say check back.
Yeah. There, yeah, we should have a more specific answer to this question and don't right now. I would certainly look around at first of all, if you're some employers offer like professional development benefits for this sort of thing. And also I think some of the professional societies out there may have scholarships that can be applied to certificate programs as well. But there's nothing through CU.
Okay. Ideally, when would candidates apply by to begin enrollment? You can apply anytime between now and August 9th, which is our application deadline. We accept students on a rolling basis, so we review them as they come in. So if you were to apply today, you'd probably hear back in the next couple of weeks. So I would say anytime before now and August 9th is ideal. Okay, let's see. Any advice on people thinking of switching careers, but thinking of getting into this field? Should they be working full time? Do this moonlighting? Kind of loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, as Catherine was saying, it's definitely possible to do a program in kind of a moonlighting basis. The one thing I guess I would be, just because we have a lot of folks apply who do a lot of field work in the summer, that can be a little bit challenging, but it is something that we can work with over the summer in terms of like figuring out an extended deadline for completing the project, or like working out how to fit that in. So we're definitely willing to work with it. That is something that comes up that can be a challenge. I mean, I don't know. I guess my since it's a kind of loaded question, my personal feeling about it is like there's no better way to learn this stuff than by working on real projects, which is why we do project-based learning throughout the entire program, including that 20-week capstone project. But you know, I would say the sooner that you can make a move in terms of like finding something that's more in the area that you want, in the environmental data science area, the better, you know. And so I certainly wouldn't recommend like waiting until finishing the certificate to even apply to stuff. If you are feeling like confident and ready to go. Yeah.
And I would add to that, as a current master's student who's also changing careers a little bit, but also working full time and trying to juggle all the things, I would say if you decide to take this program, there's so many people within EarthLab and EASL, the Environmental Data Science Innovation and Inclusion Lab that Elsa mentioned earlier, who are experts and are great people to talk to. And so definitely take advantage of that networking opportunity if you're looking to move into the environmental data science field. People are really friendly and always happy to chat. So that's my tip there.
Yeah, you can barely throw a stone without hitting an environmental or earth scientist in Boulder too. So
yeah, also I hope that helps a bit. That is a hard question. Okay. Data in the cloud.
Yes. That's the short answer. We do work with data in the cloud and cloud optimized formats. So we specifically are working with two types of cloud technologies. One is, which work very similarly to each other. One is the Spatial Temporal Access Catalogs, or STAC. And then the other one is FS Spec, Like I said, they work very similarly. You do some kind of a geospatial search, and then you can load kind of the metadata in, and then you can perform operations on it, and it won't trigger a download until it actually needs to do some computations that cannot be done on the server side, which so there, some things happen on the server side, some things do happen on whatever machine that you're working on. And so that's in terms of data access. We will also be working with GitHub Codespaces, which is not an especially powerful computer that it gives you access to, but it is, they do use cloud instances of the computers, and we teach technologies including Conda and Docker to help you to generate consistent environments if you are working on cloud computing resources, or high performance computing. Often works in a similar way. So yes, hopefully that
Great.
answers that.
Yeah.
And yeah, NASA has been working really hard in the DACs, which are their data distributors for NASA, to make almost all of their open data available through cloud optimized sources. So we're excited about taking advantage of that. Okay, preliminary readings or online courses. We recommend prior to starting the certificate program. We have, I mean, certainly it's not necessary to complete anything before the program, but we do run a website called earthdatascience.org that includes all of our curriculum for the certificate program, as well as a bunch of other things that we've built for different workshops and more advanced materials. It's a little bit of a complex moment in this because that website is like in the middle of getting a facelift. So we kind of have the old version that's live there. And then I will put in the chat kind of the newer version of it. And specifically what I want to link you guys to is something called the EASL. That's the Earth Data Science Innovation and Inclusion Lab that I mentioned earlier. Data short course, which we ran this spring, but is fully available online. And so that takes you through kind of the first like couple weeks of the certificate program, and it also has kind of an emphasis on being able to teach Earth data science as well. Yeah, it's a nice place to start off and also get a taste for our teaching style here at Earth Lab. So I will put the link to that, and it looks like Catherine put earthdatascience.org on there, which is excellent as well.
Okay, let's see. How many years has the program been running? I think this is this coming year. So starting the cohort that starts in fall 2024 will be the 5th year. Is that right, Elsa? 6th?
I think 6.
6. Okay.
It will be my 4th year.
Okay. Elsa's 4th year teaching, but it's been around for 6.
Yeah. Yeah, and so a lot of our curriculum was originally developed by a Dr. Leah Wasser, who now runs an organization called PyOpenSci. So, but we've been updating our curriculum kind of throughout that period.
Okay, a cap on the number of students per course. I think currently it's at 30, because we just have Elsa here, or we have only had Elsa in the past, but we are welcoming this new professor who will be teaching the courses as well. So we're hoping to increase that number. I'm not sure what it will be yet, but more than 30. Okay, and let's see. What hour of the day does the weekly 90-minute class take place? Are they live and also recorded? So there's a few different sections. I don't remember exactly what time they're at. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I think that well, Catherine will look up exactly what it is. And also the registration is a little confusing about this because when you're registering for the course, it says that you're registering for all 4 time slots, and we're only requiring that you come to one. We typically do not record them. I think we can record them sort of on request. But the idea is that if you are unable to attend the discussion sections at all or on a particular week, then what we'll ask you to do is look through the materials that we were discussing that week and make a couple paragraph post on our discussion board about it. And that also counts towards your discussion board participation, which is a big part of the class in the fall. So that is an option. But we think that we've been able to get almost all situations by like just swapping out for a different section on a particular week where you have a conflict. So that's our preferred method, but like Catherine was saying earlier, we understand that you all are professionals and you have families and jobs and all of that great stuff that makes you amazing people, and so we are very flexible. But yeah, we think you'll enjoy the discussion questions though, so we do recommend that you come to them.
Great. I posted the times in the chat. So those are the 4 slots that we have. But yes, Elsa said we can be flexible for your schedule. Okay, so we only have time for a few more. So if we don't get to your questions, you can definitely reach out to us and I'll put our email up at the end. Got that one. Let's see. We answered that one. We got, maybe did we get them all?
I think we are recycling through them right now.
Let's see.
I think we got to the end and ended up back at the beginning somehow.
Wow, amazing. Great, well that made that easy. Then we will just call it good there and move on. So here's our email address. You can reach out anytime, earth.lab@colorado.edu. You can follow us on one of our social accounts. Here's a couple of good quotes from previous students a few years ago, explaining how much they learned through the certificate course. And again, please apply by August 9th. That's our application deadline. And if you have any questions, again, you're more than welcome to reach out. And Elsa and I will stay on here for a couple more minutes so you can ask that way as well. But thank you all so much for coming. It was really great to see all of you and your little names on the screen and all your responses. So thanks. You're welcome, Kevin. Thank you for coming. Thank you, guys.